that you'll see the chair behind me is a chair that doesn't have any arms. It doesn't have any wheels on it. So for our yoga program today, I'm going to really encourage you to grab a nice stable chair. We're going to do all of our practices from a seated position. So if you've been struggling a little bit with balance or with lower body strength, today's practice is going to be perfect for you. All right, grab a glass of water, slide your socks and shoes off, and let's work with the part of our body that really creates the foundation for balance. And that's going to be the soles of our feet. So I want you guys to all slide your socks and shoes off. Go ahead and get your non-rolling chair. Awesome. The sound's still coming through nice and clear. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like the workout from today, we're going to record the session and post it to YouTube. You can do it as many times as you want during the week. We'll post it right after class ends. All right, so go ahead and have a seat. Take two. Bring your feet about hip width distance apart on the floor in front of you. And I want you to slide your hips up to the very front of your chair. Yeah. Now that's going to give a little bit of space behind you. We're going to use that later, but it's also going to require you to kind of use the muscles of your low belly to have some good supported posture. So think about that here as you bring your head to stack right over your hips. I want you to make sure that your big toes are pointing straight ahead. Bring your hands out in front of you. Place your palms on top of your knees. And let's go ahead and start with some finger and toe curls. I want you to start out by just curling your toes underneath. Some toes may participate more than other toes. And then see if you can untuck your toes. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. And now we're going to start to coordinate our fingers to match. As you curl your toes, you might curl your fingers. And when you uncurl your toes, I want you to open up the spaces in between your fingers as wide as you can. Yeah, that's right. Nice wide fingers. You might feel a little stretch in your forearms. You might feel this in the soles of your feet or maybe even your calves. And then the thing that makes our yoga class different here at CEP is we're going to add in a little bit of dual tasking, a little bit of a cognitive challenge. I want you to, the next time you curl your toes, I want you to open your fingers and do the opposite. When you curl your fingers in, lift your toes up, and let's switch back and forth between these two for a few moments. Maybe one foot moves easier than the other. Maybe there's some soreness that you notice already. That's okay. We're just going to do the best we can with what our body offers us for movement today. All movement is good movement. And when we get the sign that we're not in comfort, or we maybe even feel a little bit of sharp or shooting pain, we know that's the body telling us to back out a little bit. With your hands on top of your knees, go ahead and rest your hands and feet. And we're just going to lean over to the left side, like you're going into a really fast curve in a really fast car. Yeah. Come all the way back to center and go over to the other side. And let's start to do some of these tick-tocks side to side to get used to transferring our weight from the left side to the right side. As you move to the left, you might notice that one hip or one leg feel a little heavier than the opposite side. Notice how you can use the strength of your legs to bring you back to center. You might even start to notice some of the strength of the muscles of your low belly here. Yes. On your next inhale, come all the way back up to center. And then exhale, I want you to fold forward and lower your torso towards the top of your thighs, just enough so you feel a little back stretch. You can open up your knees or your legs as wide as you need to make space for yourself. And on your next inhale, I want you to lift your chest and lean back into the space behind you. Let's do that a few times. Exhale, lean forward, stretch your back. And start to inhale, lift your chest, stretch back towards the space in the chair behind you. Yeah, just like that. Let's go ahead and start to tick-tock forwards and backwards a few times. You may feel the muscles of your belly starting to ignite and work a little bit here. That's what we want. We want these low belly muscles to start to turn on, those core muscles that keep us balanced. Sometimes we say in yoga, they also correlate to our willpower a little bit. You may think so, you may not think so, right? Exhale, lean forward. And the next time you come all the way back up to bring your torso upright, bring your arms alongside your torso. Palms facing forward. Straighten your arms to your capacity. Open up the spaces in between your fingers as wide as you can comfortably today. And with an inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Let's go ahead and start to warm up our breath and our shoulders. Exhale, pull your palms all the way back down through center. Let's do a few rounds just like that. As you inhale, stretch out through your fingertips, stretch out through your rib cage. Maybe even look up to stretch your neck a little bit here. Exhale, palms trace back through center, and you may be going faster. You may be going a little bit slower than me. At all times, the rate that you feel comfortable with is what's best for you. In addition to some of the stretching and breathing and strength building benefits here, one of the things that we want to do is start to flex some of those muscles that are able to make compassionate choices for our body's state today. On your inhale, stretch up through your fingertips. Notice the state of your spine. Exhale, hands through center. Let's do two more, just like that. Inhale, stretch up through your fingertips. Notice if there's any soreness or any tightness in any particular places you can name. Exhale, hands through center. And the reason that we do that is not to be hard on ourselves, but just to be able to make compassionate choices with the information we have at hand. If you notice that you're a little stiff or a little sore, maybe even chronic pain you've been experiencing for a long time, you might choose to back out of the intensity of your practice at certain points in time. Exhale, last one. Bring your palms all the way back down through center. Interlace your fingers to the webbing. Rest your knuckles in your lap. You might close your eyes, or it may be a little bit more comfortable for you to look down at the floor in front of you. But wherever you're at, with your eyes closed or your gaze turned down, start to notice again, your posture in space. You might drop your shoulders down a little bit. You might lengthen the back of your neck and pull your head back just to stack a little bit more over your hips. And in this stillness and in this silence here, see if you can find your breath. What's the tone and the capacity of your breath today? Is the tone of your breath nice and smooth? Or is it a little bit more choppy? Does your breath feel like it can come in really fully here? Or does it feel as though it needs to be a little bit more on the shallow side? There's no right or wrong answers, no good or bad here in this body today. Just notice what you notice. With your eyes closed, we'll start to send our self-inquiry a little bit deeper. Now that you've checked in with your breath, you might also turn your attention to your physical body. How's your physical body feel from head to toe as you take a little body scan? There may be places that call your attention or kind of stand out somewhat to your attention. Notice where those places are. Without judgment, without criticism, without comparison, can you notice how your physical body is doing here and now? Last but not least, you might also notice how you're doing energetically today. As if there's a little gas tank, you could read the meter of the energy that you've got in your reserve. Is it half full, half empty, a quarter tank today? And with all that information in mind, you might even notice how you feel in this moment and name how you feel with all that information you just gathered in your and your awareness there. How would you call yourself? The first word that comes to your attention. Maybe you're feeling sluggish, excited, tired. On your next inhale, stretch your arms up overhead, reach up, stretch up through your fingertips. Take a big reach up, maybe look up. Exhale, pull your hands all the way back down through center. Let's go ahead and start to warm up our lower body now that we've got our upper body. Let's go ahead and come into a high knee march. Now, if feet lifted off the floor isn't ideal for you here, you may just do one side and not the other. Or you might even just come up onto tippy toes and leave the rest of your foot on the floor. Notice as you come into these high knee marches, if you can slow it down a little bit, it actually requires a little bit more strength from your belly and your legs. Yeah. Slower is harder here. Notice that there's this tendency to want to drop your chest down. Try to keep your chest lifted, torso nice and tall here. Yeah. Continue for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice warm up on those legs. Let's get a little bit deeper into some of these joints. Stretch your left leg out towards straight in front of you. Rest your heel on the floor, but point the rest of your toes up towards the ceiling. Flex your foot. Flare your toes open a little bit. With an inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, fold forward, hinge at your hips, and walk your hands down your left leg a little or a lot. Whatever feels okay for your back and your hamstring here. Some of us, if you have any disc issues in your back, you may need to lift yourself a little bit more upright just to protect your back a little bit. But if it's okay for your back, you might even drop your chin down towards your chest and just take this little stretch through the back of your neck. Let's take 1 to 3 breaths in and out here. These big breaths are half of the practice. They're just as important as the poses themselves. Those big breaths send and circulate oxygen around your body to start to heal places like your cells and help oxygenate your blood around your body. On your next inhale, walk yourself all the way back up to torso upright. Slide your left foot back to meet your right and switch. Stretch your right leg out in front of you. Rest your heel on the floor. Flex your foot, point your big toes up towards the ceiling, and flare your toes open again here as much as you can. Some toes may not cooperate, right? With an inhale, arm circle your hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, walk your hands down your right leg this time. Feel free to make as much space for yourself as you need to by walking your feet further apart. And you can also bend that right knee. If your hamstrings are tight or you've got any sciatic pain today, feel free to take that option for a bent right knee. And if you'd like to go a little bit further into sensation, again, you might drop your chin down towards your chest. Let's find 2 or 3 even breaths in and out here. When we work with our hamstrings and our back, things can get really frustrating really quickly. If you find yourself getting overwhelmed or even frustrated, know that's part of the practice. It's your job to kind of adjust and accommodate to make things a little bit more doable. You might do things like soften your face a little bit here. Maybe relax your eyebrows and the wrinkle across your forehead. And take some slower breaths in and out. Try not to overdo it with short, quick breaths. On your next inhale, come all the way back up to your seat. Great job. Slide your right foot back to meet your left. And let's go ahead and walk our feet out to a little bit wider position. See if you can heel toe your feet out to your feet being a little bit wider than the legs of your chair. Yeah. And then turn your big toes out slightly towards your pinky toes so that your toes turn out like a ballerina here. Yeah, great job. Bring your hands inside your knees, palms facing forward. And use your hands to press into your legs a little bit, like you were going to widen those knees out towards the wall beside you. Yeah, you feel your outer hips turn on when you do that? I certainly do. With an inhale, stretch your left arm up overhead. For a big crescent stretch, stretch over to the right side. You might stay here or place that right forearm on top of your thigh as a little prop or a little kickstand here. And then if you took that option, press your arm and leg in towards one another to turn your chest a little bit more up towards the ceiling. Maybe even lift your chin up out of your chest. Straighten your top arm, stretch out one more place. On your next inhale, use the strength of your belly to come all the way back to center. Yeah, reset. Bring your left hand inside your left thigh. With an inhale, stretch your right arm overhead. And take a big reach up, stretch up through your fingertips. Exhale, and this time crescent stretch over to the left side. Keep your legs nice and strong here. Press your feet down into the floor. Yes. Use the strength of your outer hips. Stay here, or maybe look up towards your top hand to stretch the back of your neck. On your next inhale, come all the way back up to your seat. Notice all that blood rushing back into your palm. You may feel some tingling or a little numbness after that. Heel toe your feet all the way back together. And let's go ahead and just tap our feet out really lightly. Come up onto your tippiest of toes. And this time we're going for speed. See how quick you can get your toes to tap. Maybe bring your hands to your hips and tap your toes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way back to flat feet. Walk your feet as close together as they're willing to come today. With your hands on top of your knees, windshield wiper your knees from left to right. Get a little bit of lubrication in these knee joints here. Yeah. All these little ligaments and little connections of your patella and your kneecap to the rest of your thigh and calf. Imagine stretching them out a little bit here. Yeah. Perfect. And the next time you come all the way back to center, separate your feet that hip width distance apart again. Yeah. Bring your hands to your hips. Adjust your posture. Your best like it's picture day and somebody's coming to take your picture. Imagine sitting up really tall in your seat. And you might even find the strength of your belly muscles to support that. You might imagine pulling your low belly muscles, the ones right below your belly button, in towards your spine a little bit. Yeah. Try to keep that. Come up onto your left tippiest of toe. And you could totally stay here the whole time. Or you might challenge your lower body strength and flex your left foot and just float it just a few inches away from the floor. Keep that strength in your leg. You might even lift your knee up one more place. And then everybody stretch your right hand out in front of you. So you've got opposite hand, opposite foot. Turn your palm facing up towards the ceiling above. Try to keep that good stack of your posture. We work on that a lot in these classes. Nice, good posture. See if you can hold and breathe for 3, 2, 1. Lower your left foot down to the floor. With an inhale, stretch your right arm up overhead. As you exhale, lean to the left. Inhale, come all the way back to center. Exhale, cross your right hand outside of your left knee or thigh, whatever you can grab onto here. You can see I'm reaching across my body so that my right hand goes all the way to my left leg. With an inhale, tone your belly, lift your chest, and then take a little spinal twist. On your exhale, you might turn your eyes over your left shoulder. And you can just stay here or use the strength of your belly muscles to help turn your chest and your rib cage towards the left side of the room. One more place. Nice broad shoulders here. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears to find the length of your nice long neck. Exhale, come all the way back to center. Great series. Come up onto your right tibias to toes. Let's do the same thing second side. Bring your hands to your hips. Find the strength of those belly muscles. And just if you have flesh or other things in the way, you can still tone and find those strength and nice strong muscles in your belly, whatever your situation is here. See if you can access that. Come up onto your right tibias to toes. Stay here or press your left foot into the floor as you pull your right knee up a little bit higher. Feel free to lower your big toe or the rest of your foot to the floor if that's what feels best for you here. Otherwise, challenge yourself as you keep your foot hovering. Everybody stretch your left hand out in front of you, palm facing up. Slow down and smooth out your breath. And we know that when the left and the right sides of our bodies are doing these motions, that the left and the right side of our brain is talking. Yeah. Take a big breath in, lift your chest up one more place. Exhale, lower your right foot down. With an inhale, stretch your left arm up overhead. Exhale over to the right side. Inhale back to center. Take a big breath in. And then cross your left arm over to your right knee or leg. Whatever you can reach here is fine. Take a big breath in and again, tone your belly. And on your exhale, use those muscles to turn your eyes over your right shoulder. And you might even use your hand on your leg to help leverage a little more twist. You might press your hand into your thigh. And against that, press your thigh into your hand. Yeah. Stretch the left side of your neck. Let that left shoulder drop down. Great job, everybody. Inhale, come all the way back to center. Woo! Roll your shoulders out a few times. That's a lot. Those twists, they really do feel like a lot. It's a lot on our nervous system. It's a little bit more challenging for our lungs to breathe there, but it's so good for the health of our back. See if you can lift your shoulders up, bring them back, and then slide your shoulder blades down your back. Let's do that a few times. Up, back, exhale down. Last one, big breath up. Exhale down and back. Yeah, roll your shoulders forward a few times just to balance that out a little bit. A little less coordinated there on that forward shoulder roll, right? Yeah. And then coming all the way back to center. On your next inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale out of your mouth. Let your shoulders drop down. That's almost like a little pressure release there. If you've been holding on to some pressure this week, let's let it go in these next few breaths. Inhale through your nose, shoulders up. Exhale out of your mouth. Relax your shoulders. Relax the weight of the world off your shoulders. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale down. Great job, everybody. On your next inhale, stretch your arms up overhead and lift up. Keep your knees and feet that hip width distance apart or wider if you need. And as you exhale, I want you to hinge forward and then stretch your hands back behind you, towards the wall behind you. Inhale up, big lift. Exhale, a little fold forward in your chest. Reach your hands back behind you. Inhale up. Exhale back. 2 more, just like that. These big movements. Big lift up. Exhale back. On your next inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, trace your palms all the way back through center. Really good job, everybody. Today we're doing a little bit to loosen up the muscles in our back, especially our low back. One thing that can happen over time is that the muscles that wrap around our back get a little tighter. And they can do things like pull the back of our shoulders and make our shoulders sore. They can pull the back of our neck and make the back of our neck sore. So we're going to do a little bit more thoracic twisting just to break some of that up a little bit. My range of motion may be very different than yours. The goal of these next few sets is not to do the biggest rotation or the biggest twist we can do. It's to loosen up the muscles in our back. So do what feels good for you. Only go as far as you need to go to feel the stretch. Stretch your arms out to a T. Everybody wave at me with your right hand. Yeah. I want you to keep your left hand stable and bring that right hand all the way to meet your left palm-ish without moving your left hand. On your inhale, open back up, nice wide arms. Exhale, left hand goes to the right side. Inhale, nice big open. This is like a big clap. Exhale, bring the right hand to meet the left. Inhale, the longest, biggest clap you've ever done. Exhale to twist. Left hand meets the right. Inhale, open up. Keep that left hand still. Bring the right hand to meet it. One more on each side. My palms don't really touch. They kind of come close-ish. They don't need to get the benefits of this stretch. Inhale, come all the way back out, nice and wide. Exhale, drop your shoulders down. Woof, I'm definitely feeling that in my shoulders. Maybe you feel a little bit of that upper body strengthening that we've already gotten without weights, just by lifting the weight of our body itself. All right, really good job. Let's continue some of this good effort. A little bit more brain work here. Let's go ahead and heel toe our feet out to a nice wide stance. Walk your feet out wider than the chairs of your leg, the leg of your chairs, the legs of your chair. Walk your feet nice and wider than them. Yeah. All right, here we go. Bring your hands to your hips. Let's do a little lower body workout here. Step your right foot out to the side and then back to where it started. Yeah. Step your left foot out to the side. We're using those belly muscles again, and then back to where it started. Let's do that just 1 or 2 more times on each side. Just a big step out, and it may take you a few steps. That's okay. Yeah. And all the way back to that slightly wider than hip width distance. Go ahead and reset. Turn your big toes out towards your pinky toes. Inhale, stretch your arms out to a T. Exhale, hands to hips. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms to a T. Exhale, hands to hips. Great job. Step your left foot out to the side. Now those right toes, the one that's still got that knee nice and bent, turn them out slightly. I'm sorry, those left toes, turn your left toes out slightly to the left. Yeah. Inhale, stretch your arms out to a T. This is our warrior stance here. Gaze over your left fingertips like you're aiming a bow and arrow. Notice where your fingertips are pointing towards. Open up your chest. Use the strength of your belly to stay nice and tall in your posture. Take a big full breath in. On your exhale, look straight ahead. Bend your left elbow 90 degrees. Lower your left forearm to the top of your thigh. With an inhale, extended side angle. Stretch your right arm up. nice and straight on your top arm, as straight as it's willing to go today. And then see if you can press down through the outer pinky toe side edge of that right foot. Take a big breath in, lift your chin up out of your chest, stretch through your top fingertips to get that stretch all the way down the right side of your rib cage. All right, now we're coming back to center. Use the strength of your legs and your belly. With an inhale, big lift, arms out to a T. Exhale, hands to hips. Step your right foot in. Heel, toe your feet all the way back together. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. If that was a big leg stretch for you, go ahead and use your hands to give yourself a little massage on those upper leg muscles. Use the strength of your hands to squeeze your muscles, especially in the places that they're sore. Great job. A little lymphatic massage there. All right, hands to hips, same thing, second side. Heel toe your feet out to a wide stance. Walk your feet out wider than the legs of your chair. Step your right foot out to the side. That's the side we just did. Reset. Take 3. All right, same thing. Let's step our left foot out to the side this time. Turn your right toes out slightly. Big toes turn out towards your pinky toes. On an inhale, warrior 2. Bring your arms to a T, and this time gaze over your right fingertips. Take aim. With aim, we have ally. With aim and goals, we have a direction to go in. Pull your shoulders back, straighten your arms, lift your chest up one more place. Take a big full breath in. Exhale, bend your right elbow. Place your right forearm on top of your thigh. With a big inhale, sweep your left arm up, biceps towards your cheek. Straighten your top arm. Press through your strong legs below you, that foundation that you set. And on your inhale, lift your gaze up, or if it's better for your neck, you can definitely look down. Wherever you're at, let's take 1 or 2 big breaths in to this full body stretch. Inhale, warrior 2. Take a big breath in. Use the strength of your legs. Come all the way back to a T. Exhale, hands to hips. Great job, everybody. Step your left foot all the way back in. Heel toe your feet all the way back together. Go ahead and tap your feet out. Bring your hands into little fist, and with your feet flat on the floor, go ahead and use the strength of your hands and little fist to give yourself a little upper leg massage here. Yeah, we're using the strength of our hands to press out old blood, old lymph fluid from these muscles. Let some fresh stuff rush back in. Yeah, you might find some spots that are tender and kind of work them a little bit. And we know that the health of our brain is very dependent on the health of our blood. When our blood circulates around our body, it also circulates around our brain. And our legs do a lot for us to pump blood around our body. Come all the way back to center. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs and notice the texture of the fabric on your legs as you rub your hands up and down a few times here. See if you can bring your fingertips to your shoulders. Point your elbows out to the side. And like you're swimming in a pool, bring your left elbow forward as your right elbow goes back. And then switch. One elbow comes forward, one elbow comes back. And you may feel this little bit of twisting in your spine even here. You might look over your shoulder as you twist to one side. You might take a few deeper breaths in and out here. And then let's do the backstroke. Switch your directions. Lift one elbow up towards the ceiling and then back behind you. And then do the same thing on the second side. Elbow goes up and back. Yeah, get a little full range of motion here in these shoulders as we do a little bit of twisting just to loosen up those back muscles. One more time here. Yes. One more on each side. Great job. Come all the way back to center. One more twist before we make our way into our cool down. Separate your feet about that hip width distance apart again. Bring your left hand inside of your left thigh, palm facing out. And then once more, stretch your right arm up overhead. Take a big breath in and lift your chest. And with an exhale, slide your left hand down towards the floor a little bit, just to get a little bit of a twist. Keep your arm inside your thigh. Press your arm and leg in towards one another, and maybe look up towards your right hand. Take 1 or 2 breaths in and out here. Inhale, come all the way back up, reset. Bring your right hand, palm facing out inside your right thigh. With an inhale, stretch your left arm up. And you could just stop and stay here, or exhale, slide that right hand down towards the floor on the inside of your thigh, and turn your chest up just to look towards the left side of the room you're in. Just like we did on the first side, 1 or 2 breaths in and out here. On your next inhale, come all the way back up to a nice comfortable seat. Very good job. Slide your hips back in the chair a little bit. Using your hands, we're just going to lift that left foot onto its tippy toe. You could stay here or reach your hands behind the back of your leg, or even in front of your knee to pull your knee in towards your chest, and just give yourself a squeeze here. You might even go side to side a few times with that hip. Release and switch. Come up onto your right tibias to toe. Stay here, or hands behind the back or in front of your leg to pull that right knee in towards your chest. Keep your shoulders nice and soft here. And we're almost there, guys. Really good workout. You know, we build up all of the energy and all the effort to get the release and the relaxation that come after practice. You might stay here or go side to side with that right knee a few times. Just a very small movement here can have a big effect. Gently release. With an inhale, stretch your arms up overhead and reach up. Stretch up through your fingertips. Exhale, pull your hands all the way back down through center. Interlace your fingers to the webbing. Point your palms forward and straighten your arms a little or a lot. Use sensation as the guide for what feels best for you. You could stop right here, or to go a little bit more into sensation, you can stretch your arms up and back. Lift your chin up out of your chest to relax the back of your neck and keep your feet planted on the floor below. Exhale, very gently release. Let's go ahead and relax our shoulders by bringing our fingers to interlace. Rest your knuckles in your lap. Take a big breath in through your nose here. Maybe close your eyes. And just like we did earlier, a big exhale out of your mouth to let it go. Feel free to take 1 or 2 more of those if you need to here. Let your body find a little bit more of a relaxed and a supported position. Get comfortable in your chair, but keep your feet flat on the floor, feet hip-width distance apart. Relax your shoulders down, soften the tension in your neck and your face a little bit. And then bring your attention back to your breath. Let your breath come in and out at its own rate, at its own pace. And if it's okay for your body, you might even close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose here. in your stillness. You might take a moment to notice again how the tone and the texture of your breath are today. Maybe it's the same as when we started. Maybe it's different. No reason to judge. Just notice what you notice. Notice how your physical body is doing here at the end of practice. And if you had to take a little body scan from head to toe, is anything different from that first check-in when we began? And sometimes the answer is no. That's okay too. Notice any big physical sensations that seem to call your attention here just for a moment. Notice your energy levels, if they've changed or shifted. Sometimes they don't. That's okay too. And these last few moments, if you had to stop in your silence and your stillness here and describe the way that you're feeling, what's the first word that comes to mind honestly? Without any shame or trying to change anything with any of the answers that you found. See if you can stay here for just one more moment and hold this stillness, hold this intention. Let your body remember what it's like to be at peace. Relax your shoulders down, relax your face. Let go of any unnecessary tension that you're holding on to. And in these last few moments, see if you can come up with 2 things that you find yourself grateful for right here and right now in this moment. And maybe as simple as the coffee in your cup this morning, or just the fact that the sun came up and from behind the back of the clouds today. Notice the first things that come to your mind when you think about the things that bring you just a little bit of joy. You might offer your gratitude to these people or places or things that come to mind. And if nothing comes to mind easily, you might just become very grateful for the breaths that still come in and out of your body and all of these moments that you're in, even this one you're in now. And bringing that with you for a little bit of humility for the rest of the day. Take a big inhale and sweep your arms up overhead and reach up through your fingertips, stretch through your spine. Exhale, bring your palms together in the center of your chest and start to rub your hands together. You might even keep your eyes closed for this part. See if you can rub your hands together until your hands get a little hotter. Yeah, and a little hotter. And get faster so they get hotter. Yeah. Keeping your eyes closed. Cup your palms over your eyelids and just blink a few times. Try to sense the heat from your hands on the skin of your face. And exhale to gently release. I always say my only goal of practice is to feel a little better afterwards than before I began. Hopefully this is a situation we can encourage ourselves to practice using kind and loving language with ourselves when things are difficult. You might challenge yourself with that a little bit this week, that when we get into patterns of negative self-talk, that we invite the possibility of the opposite to be true. May we invite in kind affirmations for ourselves when those negative thoughts want to arise. Thank you guys for your patience and practice today. Thanks especially with some of the mic and the audio issues. We hope to see you next week for CEP Live, same time, same place. 3 o'clock next week, we'll have some of our social workers come in and talk about a subject that's a little bit tricky to talk about, denial. What's it like to be in denial? What does denial look like? How do we get ourselves out of denial, especially after a really big diagnosis? I'll stick around a few moments. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them back into the chat. Again, the recording will be available on YouTube later today, so feel free to come back to it, especially if you find it was something that your back needed a little bit today. Thank you guys so much for practice. Thanks for joining us for CEP Live. And if you'd like any more information, feel free to check out that YouTube page. It's got all of the details there.